The Amazing Spider-Man 2 might be the most frustrating superhero movie ever made. Because hidden underneath all the studio interference, all the sequel setup, and all the plot lines pulling in different directions is one of the best Spider-Man performances we've ever gotten. This movie gave us breathtaking web-swinging, an emotional love story, and one of the most heartbreaking endings in any comic book film. So why do so many people call it a failure? Today we're diving back into The Amazing Spider-Man 2 to find out whether this movie deserves another chance, or if its reputation is exactly where it belongs. And trust me, by the end of this review, I think you'll see this movie very differently. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're revisiting The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the movie that was supposed to launch Sony's own Spider-Man cinematic universe. Instead, it became the final chapter of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. For years, fans blamed this movie for ending the franchise. But after Spider-Man: No Way Home reminded everyone just how incredible Andrew Garfield really was, people have started asking a new question. Was the movie actually bad, or was it simply trying to do way too much? Let's break it all down. The first thing this movie absolutely nails is Spider-Man himself. Andrew Garfield doesn't just play Peter Parker. He feels like Spider-Man. He's funny, he's awkward, he's constantly talking during fights. And when he's swinging through New York, you can almost feel the freedom. Even more than a decade later, I honestly think this is still the best live-action web-swinging we've ever seen. Every swing has momentum. Every dive feels dangerous. The camera flies alongside Spider-Man instead of simply following him. It makes you feel like you're soaring over Manhattan. And that's something very few superhero movies have captured this well. But then, the movie starts introducing more storylines. Peter's parents, Oscorp secrets, Harry Osborn, Electro. The Sinister Six teases. The Mysterious Gentleman, a hidden subway station, a disease, spider venom. Future villains. And suddenly, the movie starts feeling less like a Spider-Man story and more like an advertisement for 5 future movies that never happened. Still, there are things here that work incredibly well. Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy remains one of the greatest love interests in superhero history. Their chemistry feels completely natural. The conversations never sound forced. You actually believe these two love each other. That's incredibly important. Because when the emotional moments arrive, they hit much harder. The graduation speech, the playful banter, the rooftop conversations. Even the arguments feel genuine. Unlike many superhero romances, this one actually feels real. Then we meet Electro. Visually, he's fantastic. Jamie Foxx gives Max Dillon an awkward loneliness that's actually pretty sympathetic early on. You almost feel sorry for him, a forgotten man, ignored by everyone, who suddenly gains unimaginable power. That's a great setup. And his Times Square transformation? Still one of the coolest visual sequences in the movie. The electric effects, Hans Zimmer's incredible soundtrack, the slow build-up. It's genuinely exciting. Unfortunately, once Electro fully becomes the villain, he never develops much beyond wanting revenge. His motivations become surprisingly thin, which is disappointing because the foundation was so strong. Then there's Harry Osborn, and this is where things become complicated. Dane DeHaan gives Harry an unsettling energy that fits the character. But his entire transformation into the Green Goblin happens so quickly that it never feels earned. It almost feels like the movie suddenly remembers, oh yeah, we still need the Green Goblin. So everything happens at lightning speed. One minute he's sick, the next he's desperate, then suddenly, he's the Green Goblin. It feels rushed. Here's where the movie gives you false hope. For most of the runtime, you think all these disconnected storylines are eventually going to click together into one incredible finale. You believe every mystery matters. Every setup has a payoff. Every tease is building towards something unforgettable. because that's exactly what great superhero movies usually do. But instead, many of those storylines simply stop. The parent mystery, mostly abandoned. The Sinister Six setup, never happened. The secret laboratory, forgotten. Future villains, canceled. And that's probably the biggest disappointment of the movie. Not because the ideas were bad, but because none of them were allowed to fully become something. Even so, whenever the movie simply lets Spider-Man be Spider-Man, it's fantastic. The opening chase with Rhino? Incredibly entertaining. The rescue of the little kid being bullied? Pure Spider-Man, stopping traffic, helping strangers, cracking jokes while saving lives. That's exactly who Spider-Man should be. Those smaller moments remind you why people fell in love with Andrew Garfield's version in the first place. Then we arrive at the clock tower. And honestly, this scene still hurts. Peter rushes to save Gwen. Everything slows down. The web reaches toward her. For one brief second, you genuinely believe he'll make it. Then, she hits the ground. Silence. No dramatic music, no heroic speech, just heartbreak. It's one of the boldest endings any superhero movie has attempted. Andrew Garfield completely sells Peter's grief. You can see the guilt, the disbelief, the realization that sometimes being Spider-Man isn't enough. For me, this isn't just the best scene in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's one of the most emotional moments in any Spider-Man movie. Even people who dislike the film usually remember this scene. And for good reason. It's unforgettable. At the end of the day, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a movie filled with incredible highs and equally frustrating lows. It has arguably the best Spider-Man action, one of the strongest Peter and Gwen relationships, a phenomenal musical score, beautiful cinematography, and Andrew Garfield giving everything he has. But it's also buried beneath too many unfinished ideas, too many sequel teases, and too much studio ambition. If the filmmakers had simply focused on Peter, Gwen, and Electro, we might be talking about one of the greatest Spider-Man movies ever made. Instead, we got one of the biggest what-ifs in superhero history. Final rating, 7.5 out of 10. It's flawed, it's messy, but it's also far better than many people remember. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more movie reviews every week, and let me know down in the comments. Do you think The Amazing Spider-Man 2 deserves a second chance, or do you think it still deserves all the criticism it gets? I'll see you in the next one.